Well, just want to say good morning to all my friends, family, loved ones, associates, contacts, whether you're near or far. Hope things are going well and you're a part of the world wherever you are. This is Raymond Settles. I am speaking again with your motivational moment. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told us that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. And with so much going on as it relates to um, the pandemic we have, the economic recession that we have, as well as the civil unrest that's going throughout this country, we're seeing the faces of people as they truly are in these times of adversity and challenge. And the very first person I got to mention is a gentleman who I used to have a ton of respect for, and that's New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees. And when speaking with Yahoo Business, he said that he can never respect anyone that disrespects the flag by kneeling during the national anthem, and that putting one's hand over their heart is a sign of unity. And he mentions his grandfathers having been in World War II, and all that's fine and good. But Drew Brees has been in the locker room with primarily Black individuals for just about a quarter of a century, going back to his days at Purdue. And if you can spend so much time with African Americans and not recognize that when Kaepernick started the kneeling process, that it wasn't about disrespecting the flag. It never was about the flag. When you allow someone else to co-opt that message and take it and run with it and totally change it from what it was to what he wanted it to be, because I don't say his name. That's so disappointing in Breeze. But it's not totally surprising when, if you've seen the recent photos, it shows Breeze with number 45 in the New Orleans Superdome at the national championship game for college football this past January. So his allusion to not recognizing isn't actually accurate. It's that he wanted to hear a message and he adhered to the message that 45 was giving, not what Kaepernick was giving, even though he should have been closer by knowing Kaepernick from contest on the athletic field and from being a player who surely had the inside line on what Kaepernick's protests were about. And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't watched football in 2 years, or the NFL at least in 2 years. So he doesn't matter to me. But it's amazing that when the heat got on him for what he said because he knew it was wrong, then he capitulates, he turns it around, and then he says, I'm sorry, and I'm an ally, and I've never been an enemy. And then he had the audacity to say, and I want to be a Black leader. You can't fill that role, Drew. It's impossible for him, especially after what has just come out, to try and say he wants to be a leader. That's not a role that's open for you to take on. And then you have Jake Fromm, fifth round draft pick from University of Georgia, and he's a quarterback, a rookie, hasn't played an NFL game yet. And someone outed him with a text message about how he says only elite whites should have guns. And my brother Shannon Sharp said it best, that what he said was an actual picture of racism, simply saying because I'm white, or because anyone is white or has a different skin color, it automatically qualifies them for certain privileges and advantages over others. And I'm going to say he's young, but he was stupid, because that's a stupid thing to say. And we say stupid things, especially when we're young, especially when we think that we're just conversing with friends, we might say some things that are um, not the smartest things we could have said. However, it's going to come back to Biden because, first of all, Jake, you're only a fifth round draft pick. It's very likely that you're going to get about a year or two. And if you don't show something of real value, that your tenure in Buffalo will end. But now Buffalo, as we see, is quite the city of raging racists. So maybe he'll fit in there well. It's hard to say. Although I do have family in Buffalo, so Uncle Ali, hope all y'all are staying safe. But it's amazing how when some people are in their comfort zones, how they'll let their true faces be seen versus their public persona and their public faces. And I'm not gonna kid you, some of the stuff can be very um, discouraging. It can put you down. It can put you at a bad place mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But I just want to encourage you that you don't let the devil get the last laugh because he has already lost the war. So continuing some of these battles. We see some interesting things. We see with the way that these police, and let's be honest, a lot of them are primarily filled with Caucasians, the way they have gone on the offensive in this during a lot of these protests, we see that they are not always responding to an issue. They're in fact creating the issue. They are going on the offensive in a lot of these cities and a lot of these situations. They're not looking and waiting to see if someone in the crowd's going to throw a bottle or going to throw a rock or going to throw a brick. They're simply, as soon as they've seen people, whacking them with batons, spraying them with pepper spray, shooting those pepper balls, shooting those foam bullets and those rubber bullets. And those things are doing serious damage to people. And I hate to see that be the case because I know that just because I'm protesting something and just because you don't agree with me does not give you the right to take liberties and to injure my person. Disagreement of opinion should never drop to that point where I'm now at risk. You are now seeking to do me great bodily damage simply because I'm unhappy about how I'm being treated. That's illogical. It's off center and it doesn't have its roots in any place good at all. And so seeing how the cops are being abusive, not just towards us, but even to I've seen a lot of our Caucasian brothers, the older gentleman, Gugino in Buffalo, 75 years old, bleeding from the brain apparently, because of what the cops have done. The reporter, I believe he was in Louisville, who looks like he has his eyes seriously damaged from one of those pepper bags. I saw a white brother who looks like he lost his eye from one of those foam bullets. Not to mention how many of us we've seen getting sprayed, getting maced, getting beaten. The grandniece of Faneuil Hamer, civil rights activist, was shot in the eye with one of those foam bullets, and they're not sure if she's going to have usage of it again. She won't know for a few more weeks. The cops have definitely gone off the rails in how they are responding. They're not looking in a lot of instances to de-escalate situations. They're actually escalating. They're actually making it worse and much worse because of the nature of their being upset that we're not happy that they're abusing us. I'm not sure where their hostility is coming from to a degree, but if a job like that causes you to have to be abusive towards others, maybe you're not the right person for that job. And then looking at all these Caucasian people who are waving the Confederate flags or showing their Nazi insignias and tattoos and things of that nature, it really makes me question the logic of some of these quote unquote patriots. First of all, the Confederacy was a traitorous group of states that tried to break away from the Union. And you're sure that you want to show that you're an American patriot by highlighting and broadcasting that you support those who are true enemies of America? There's no logic to that. But then also, you want to tell me that you want to support a Nazi regime whose idea was world domination, destruction of Jews, subjugation of all those rest of us of people of color, and again, enemy of America. But you say you're a patriot and you show that by supporting a group that was against America. Not only is that illogical and traitorous, but worse, you all pick losers. You want to show how much white pride you have by showing that you support those who lost two of the biggest wars our country has ever seen. It's not doesn't make good sense. Like my mother used to say, it doesn't make good crazy sense. We're supposed to be better than that, being in America. We're supposed to have this ideal of what America is. And even though some of them think that it won't be, and some of them think that we cannot rise to the levels that has been laid out for us, trust me, it's going to happen. You can't stop this train. It's already going. God has already put some things in place. And I'll just end on this note. I want you to stay encouraged. Understand that the battle is not yours. The battle has already been won. Jesus Christ came, he lived, he died, he rose again, went back to heaven. He's coming back again to show that he's already won the fight for us. And even though I understand things may look impossible now, that idiot in the office of the presidency makes things look impossible. Mitch McConnell wants to make things look impossible. Paul Ryan, Paul Walker, the Governor Scott Walker, Lindsey Graham, they want to make these things look impossible for us to get. But always remember this, my brother and my dear sister, the things that are impossible with men are possible with God. So if God says you got it, you've got it. If God says it will happen, it will happen. If God says I'm in control, guess what? He is still in control. And because of that, I want you all to have a great day. I want you all to go out there and seize that day, pluck that day like a ripe fruit, because the Lord has arranged it to be so for you. Again, this is Raymond. So it's a little bit different, a little more extemporaneous in regards to my ideas. But the truth is still the truth. I want this to be your motivational moment. It is Saturday. Have a wonderful day.